power outage. Need one of these. Here we go. Good old Jackery. This joint is a must-have. Must-have. What's up, world? Grand Rising, all. Starting off on a rough note a little bit today. We had a major storm, you know, out here in the Twin Cities. Major storm. So let's see if we can see anything noticeable. There was a couple little tree branches down. I didn't really check in the backyard to see how things were. There's a couple branches down. It ain't too bad. It ain't too bad. Close the window for a second. Very foggy. My car's running a little rough. I don't know if it was because of the you know, maybe some rain got in the brakes or something. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to take it. It feels a little weirder than normal. So you know, I don't see anything on the TPS monitor or whatever, but you know, that's all good. Anyway, I meant to do this out in the garage yesterday. Yeah, it is running. It is kind of low. This feels really strange. So yeah, I woke up today, man, with a stomach ache and a headache. And I didn't have nothing specific. Get some regular tacos like last night or whatever. Maybe it was a little anxious from the storm order. I like thunderstorms, and it seems like the larger they are, the more I like them. I don't like the damage, but man, I'm telling you, it was a hell of a storm last night, man. It was a hell of a storm. It passed through us. It didn't take, you know, it took, you know, it went on for maybe a good hour, and it got me kind of thinking. It cut the internet off. We cut the AC off. I turned that off before because I ain't want no electrical stuff. I don't think nothing was gonna happen, but you know, because AC, we got central air, so those AC units, they're meant to be used in hot as hell or cold, or you know, hot weather or whatever, you know. But you know, I just went ahead and just cut off the TVs and stuff like that. Kind of sat in silence, you know, and I thought about a broadcast, several different broadcasts, rest in power Neely Fuller, when he was talking about the need for black folks to sit in silence sometimes. That's important. It's important sometimes for you to just kind of sit in silence. And I'm speaking on behalf of our folks in that regard, because what happens when we get, some of us, when we get these damn electronics, when there's something that's going on, or when there's a camera in our face, or whatever the case may be, the problem is Negroes like to perform. They have a lot of attention starvation. So every now and then, to me, that's a good idea for some of this shit gets to shut the hell down. So niggas can sit and be quiet and think. See, when the system shuts down, that forces you to sit down and start thinking a little constructive. Yeah. Now, some people might go crazy after that. Some folks might lose their minds because they don't know how to sit and think and be constructive and start planning. I went into my notebook last night. I said, wait a minute. I'm taking this back to the old school when I used to write down some of my goals. I didn't get to where I was at by no damn accident, y'all. Everything I do, everything I learn, with the tech field, and, when I had these stores and, all of these parts and these facets of my life, this wasn't accidental. I wrote that shit down. So I kind of sat and thought about it for a minute, and I said, you know what? I'm going to use this time to think constructive. I'm going to start thinking like, all right, what did I not do or do? I took it as a tactical, not reconnaissance, but I took it as like a tactical, I forgot what they call it, but in the military, when something goes wrong, what they do is they sit. What time is it now? When something goes wrong, they sit and they do like a recap, like almost like a war room about what happened. And what happened last night? Your cell phone was off. I could get text, I could send text, I could call out, but I wasn't able to use the internet. The internet was down, and the cell phone towers, that internet signal wasn't that great. It didn't start working until maybe 2 hours or so later. Okay? It didn't start working until about 2 hours or so later. So when that occurred, I said, and then it went off again. So I thought about something like rapid radio. I kind of thought about that for a moment. This rapid radio thing, so you could communicate long distance. I've been seeing videos about rapid radio. You could be here and then somebody else in Texas. It works off the cell phone, but it's not to sit there and talk about BS. It's there to communicate and get things in order. My dad used to have a big walkie-talkie. Information is power. Communication is power. When you ain't got no power and you can't communicate, what do people use? They use walkie-talkies, right? So I started kind of thinking about different things. And I thought about the doomsday people and the conspiracy doomsday. They used to always call these folks crazy and stuff. But when shit gets out of wire, if a grid goes down, those are the folks you need, right? Folks that have been prepared. But they're not going to help your ass. You know why? Because you had time to do food prep, ammo, gold, weapons, first aid kits, 6-month food supplies, all of that kind of stuff. Folks probably been telling them for years, you overkill. You turned up for no reason. But just that storm last night, it brought me into a different awakening. Now, I had been doing some of them things, quiet as kept. But I said, okay, I need to tighten up my game even more. What happens if the power goes out for 3-4 damn days? What do you do? So I had an issue when I first bought my house. I went and got a generator. I think I already did a test on the Jackery. I'm going to upload what I got, the little one that I was using. And it's just for cell phones, but I'm just, sometimes I like to kind of review that stuff. I got the big one. I damn near want another one. They have expansion packs on it as well. Okay, what was it? 630, 730. Let me see, 630, 735, 40. Okay, the bus gonna be here pretty soon, so I think I'll get it. But it just made me kind of think about it. Having cash on hand, gold, ammo, survival gear, passport. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of thought about Instagram and all these apps and stuff like that. And I'm talking so much as tech consumers, as black folks. You have some people, their whole lives are on nothing but social media. You don't have that no more. Then what do you do? What do you do when you got to sit and actually think constructively and tactically about a situation where a grid could go down, or something with these apps could go down where you can't go into a store, you can't do stuff? And I thought about the movie When the World Left Behind, or that movie with Mahershala Ali, and I kind of thought about that whole situation. You know, that's what I was thinking about last night. I was sitting up there. There was a lantern that I bought. I keep one in the car as well. I'm going to post these lanterns, and I'm going to put this in the description on one of the things. And I might even put in one of the places where you can get the 6-month food supply. No, it's not going to be the Cheesecake Factory. It's not going to be a great tasting thing, but it's going to keep you alive with high calories. So maybe I'll post a couple things like that. But like a lot of times when things like this happen, the things go left, ain't nobody going to open their door. I'm not. And you can't call me because remember the lines are down. But I'm not going to open my door for random people that open, you know. You've seen that movie. There was a movie with Derek Luke and Maxine Shaw, attorney at law. What was her name? Alexander. There was a movie that just came out on Amazon Prime a couple years ago. And it talked exactly about that. There was a lot of interesting dynamic. I want y'all to go check out that movie. From the racial element, from the power dynamic, there's a lot of dynamics, and you can go back and learn from that movie. Basically, dude thought his titles and degrees was going to save him, in so many words. So, very, very interesting, extremely interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post this. I'm going to edit this, you know, when I get to work and whatnot. And I got a couple story times coming out. If y'all haven't seen, the Cherokee Freedmen got their citizenship. The Cherokee Freedmen got their citizenship, which they should have, because some of those 5 civilized tribes were owned Black Americans. They owned slaves. So some of us that was in some of those tribes, yeah, absolutely, that's a case for reparations. They were owned. They sided with the Confederate South. So that's going on. That's good. The Muskogee people, some of them black folks down there, they were aggrieved. And they need to be repaid. You damn right they need to be repaid, just like everybody else. So I posted a video for that. There's another new video coming out that I did for Jerry Lawson. If you played Nintendo or any of these cartridges, any of these damn video games or whatever, you're welcome. That's a Black American that made that happen. His name was Jerry Lawson. That story's coming out. There's that conversation I was telling you about, that guy that I was basically telling him how things were. Oh, here go my bus. I'm about to rock out.